It is located less than 80 kilometers south of Mexico City and is also known as the City of Eternal Spring. Cuernavaca, Morelos, the old Cuanawa, a place of beautiful colonial spaces, welcomes you with open arms. Cuernavaca has an ideal weather all year round, making it one of the best places for everyone to relax in central Mexico. And as you might already know, it has recreational centers, spas, restaurants, and hotels of almost every kind. In its historic center, history, music, and commercial life interact. Colors, flavors, smells, and endless wonderful people. Take a walk in the Morelos Garden and the Palace of Cortés, where the Kuanawa Regional Museum is located. A construction similar to a fortress that houses magnificent murals by Diego Rivera. Pre-Hispanic, colonial, and 19th and 20th century pieces are exhibited here. The Cathedral of Kornavaca dates back to the 16th century, one of the oldest in the country. It's part of the group of convents declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, formerly known as the Convento de la Asunción. It is of enormous proportions and it has a rather peculiar decoration. In its surroundings, you will find shops, galleries, restaurants for all tastes, and that special touch that can only be found in Cuernavaca. The Chapel of Carmen is located on the northwest side of the atrium. It was built at the end of the 19th century by the priest of Cuernavaca, Miguel María Vélez, who also participated in the construction of the Temple of San Jose, thanks to donations from the Bermejillo family of Chiconcuac. Inside, with a single nave, there is a neoclassical style high altar. The open chapel was built in the first half of the 16th century and is the oldest part of the monastery that remains. It is very possible that Cortés himself promoted its construction during the period in which he lived in Cuernavaca so that the missionaries could baptize and catechize the indigenous people, since he had sufficient means to pay for it. The factory of the Church of the Third Order, to the northwest of the atrium of the cathedral, was started in the 18th century. This chapel was given a Latin cross plan and a single nave divided into choir loft, nave, transept, and apse. The Chapel of the Third Order did not remain immune to the attacks of the revolutionary movement. In 1916, the Carrancista general Pablo González installed his barracks in the annexes of such building. Another essential in Cuernavaca is the Borda Garden, where Maximiliano de Habsburgo and his wife Carlota had a summer residence. Currently, it's a pleasant garden where you can observe native and exotic plants, as well as buy handicrafts and row in its small lake. In my opinion, one of the greatest attractions of Cuernavaca. The Borda Garden is a Mexican house from the colonial era with an artificial lake and beautiful gardens, which was built by the famous silver miner Don Joseph Guo de la Borda Sánchez, known in the Viceroyalty of New Spain as José de la Borda. Affected by the study of botany and horticulture, he gathered on that site various species of plants in various gardens. He put 2 pools, terraces at various levels, ramps, stairways, fountains, and French-style water features. It has a nearby church that Borda also built before 1778, where he died. Upon his death on May 30th, 1778, the park was transformed into a recreational area and a botanical garden, which at the time already had hundreds of varieties of fruit trees and ornamental plants. The works of the Borda garden, including the interior lake, were finished in 1783. Its construction dates back to the first half of the 18th century. It stands out for the hydraulic engineering of its time, which fed the interior lake and the various fountains in the gardens with running water, as well as the great variety of plants that were located inside. On the north side of the house, Borda y Verdugo built a shrine. In 1865, during the government of Maximiliano de Habsburgo, together with his wife Carlota Amelia, chose this place as their summer residence, due to the pleasant climate that exists in Cuernavaca throughout the year, which makes the city an eligible tourist destination for people from all over the world. Today, the Borda Garden has exhibition halls, a bookstore, and is used for temporary exhibitions and concerts in the open-air auditorium that is found in the area of its interior lake. The place became famous, in addition to its gardens, for the books and articles that visitors who stayed there wrote about it. The residence never lost its charm, and in 1865, after a trip to Yucatan, Emperors Maximiliano de Habsburgo and Carlota Amalia selected this place as their summer residence, as mentioned already. With the stay of the couple, the garden returned to its category of simple elegance, ceased to be a hotel, and became an imperial palace. The emperors, surrounded by their court, offer spectacular gala meetings in the gardens and excellent concerts on the stage of the pond. Among the important visitors who visited the Borda Garden later in its history are Francisco I. Madero, Emiliano Zapata, Sebastián Lerdo de Tejada, Francisco Leiva, Porfirio Díaz, and Diego Rivera. So there you have it. When you come to the city of eternal spring, you cannot miss any of these places, especially the Borda Garden, my personal favorite. And speaking of gardens, one of the most recommended is Jardines de México, about half an hour south of Cuernavaca. In the description, I'll leave you the link with all the details. You can't miss it. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to this channel, where there is much more to come.